What's up, Michigan fans? Welcome back to the Maize and Bluebeard podcast, where we talk all things Michigan football and basketball. MWB and the place to be, go blue. And we're here with another update and of another busy day for Michigan with the transfer portal, with roster retention, rumors, players they were trying to get to come back, going elsewhere, new targets possibly in the portal, all sorts of stuff to talk about. So let's get into it right now. So the day started off pretty slow, just chugging along, and then all of a sudden, bam! Michigan picked up their first transfer portal player of the day, and it was a surprise. It was a quarterback from LSU, Colin Hurley, 6'1", 218. He was a 5-star recruit originally, also number 3 quarterback in the portal, but then he reclassified so that he could be part of an earlier class. And when he arrived on LSU campus early, he was only 16. So I don't know who gave him the advice to do that. He probably shouldn't have. So he redshirted as a freshman. He's got 4 years of eligibility left, but he could be dynamic. He's just a project player, somebody who was a former 5-star for a reason, an athlete. Really cool to have in the quarterback room. Now we've got another young QB to develop along with the recruits coming in. And we got Tyler Nicolosi, who you guys know I love. So I'm really excited about this quarterback room now. We've got a gunslinger, confident, cocky veteran backup. We've got another young project guy that could become something special. We've got some recruits coming that could be special, plus what they're going to go after themselves in the next recruiting cycle going forward, and some already that are going to come in down the road. So quarterback room is looking great now. I'm really excited about this LSU pickup. I think he is just another cool piece to have there to see develop and to see what can happen. Because let me tell you, this is something that's very different. If anybody saw the Urban Meyer and Whittingham chat, go check it out if you haven't. But Whittingham talked about how there was no dedicated quarterback coach for Bryce last year, and that was a big part of his issues, I believe. He seemed to regress a little bit in a lot of areas as the year went on, and a lot of his bad habits just kept showing up more and more as the year went on. And he didn't just grow and learn the college game and learn progressing through his reads and learning to trust the offensive line and step up in the pocket. He kept throwing off his back foot and his mechanics seemed off. And that's because nobody was working with him. Now you don't have that anymore. Coy Detmer Jr. is a baller. He's a beast. He's an awesome quarterback coach, knows what he's doing, and he's a fiery guy. He headbutted a player while the other player had a helmet on. I mean, find that video. This guy is awesome, and he knows what he's doing. He's going to be Bryce's right-hand man. That whole quarterback room, I mean, he's already reaching out to recruits. He's just doing a great job. But then you got Jason Beck, who's also going to help out with Bryce, and Kyle Whittingham. I mean, plus, let's not forget all the weapons they've already put around him. So, pretty excited. The quarterback room is also a strength, which is what they've done with a lot of different position groups. There's some that still have work to do, but we're getting there. So, but with this coaching staff, I'm not overly worried, even in the areas I'm worried in. Then later on, it was quiet for a long time again, and then, ba-boom, the big one came in that we had all been waiting for. Smith Snowden from Utah, cornerback, most likely going to play nickelback for Michigan. He came, it made it official, coming to Michigan. Dynamic player. He's going to have 1 year of eligibility left. 5'10", 185, the number 3 defensive back in the transfer portal, and we got him. Last year at Utah, he had 37 tackles, 9 pass deflections, couple tackles for loss, couple interceptions, and he was named second team All Big 12 on the defense. He had a fantastic year. He's a baller. He's a ball hawk. He is a great player, and I just cannot wait. The secondary has become a strength. I'm really excited about the secondary. And something else kind of cool, just take this information and keep it in your brain and let it percolate. But he did play 12 snaps on offense, had 97 yards all-purpose, and scored a rushing touchdown. Just saying, he's dynamic, he's athletic, and he's a Michigan Wolverine. Baby! Yeah! So now you got Zeke Berry on one side, you've got Jair Hill on the other side, who I think are both going to take huge steps with this this coaching staff. Then you have at the nickel now, you have now at the nickel, you have Smith Snowden. You look back at the safeties, we've got Rod Moore. If he can hopefully have one good healthy year before he goes. So we got Rod Moore, Mason Curtis coming back. We've got Jordan Young coming back. We've got Chris Bracey. And then we've got a bunch of youth in the secondary as well back there. Guys that could be coached up and be something special. And who knows, they might not be done. They could be adding more. We'll get to that in a little bit. But man, the secondary is looking like a strength, just like the quarterback room. So those two pickups, ba-boom, knocking things out, looking good. And then we got one more surprise one, which, well, I'll talk about him in a second, but could be the key to cementing another player staying here who he's related to, which seems to be a theme. So Michigan also got a linebacker, which was great news, Christian Pierce. I recognize the last name, hadn't heard of him, so I looked him up. He is the younger brother of Trey Pierce, who is a defensive tackle that we're trying to make sure stays here. Flashed at times, he's a veteran, so hopefully he stays to cement, not cement the defensive line, but he'd be a great part of that defensive tackle rotation. I'd love to have him here. Hopefully they still get somebody else, but Jonah Leia, Trey Pierce, if they can get Ete to come back. But his younger brother, Christian Pierce, was at Western Illinois. And at first I looked him up I looked up all the reports and I'm like, holy crap, this dude in his freshman year had 100 tackles, 4.5 sacks at an FCS school. That's awesome. He might be a player. But, and that was reported everywhere. But the funny thing is, it was a mystery. Nobody actually knew what this guy's stats were. Because when you go to Western Illinois' page, they have two Christian Pierces. One is a defensive back who's a senior, and one is the linebacker we got. And they have the same stats on each page. And it was just interesting. Like, I was trying to figure out what his stats were. Unfortunately, those were the stats of the senior, kind of all-American, all-conference player. The linebacker, as you would expect a freshman, he barely played. He got in for a little bit of snaps. Didn't really do much his freshman year. But he's coming. So two things about this. One, obviously this hopefully helps Trey Pierce stay, which is worth it. He's an awesome player. I'm glad that we'll have him back. Two, he was also a highly thought of recruit. I mean, I think he was a 3-star, but a lot of big colleges looked at him, including Michigan, and wanted him to come, and Ohio State and some other ones. So it's not like he's a slouch. He'll be more linebacker depth, which is great, and we need another young player that could be coached up, could become something. But so more bodies in the room, which is great, but we have a lot of unproven young guys. It's great to get another depth piece, and it's great to keep Trey Pierce staying, but he's not the slam dunk superstar linebacker that we want to see come in. Although I do really like what we have in the linebacker room. Now we've got Max Alford. Now we have Christian Pierce. We've got some bodies. We've got some potential, but it would be nice to just get at least one guy that's like, oh yeah, there's the leader of that linebacker room. And maybe it's already there. We'll see. But anyway, so when you see the reports that he had 100 tackles his freshman year, wrong Christian Pierce. What are the odds two guys with the same exact spelled name would be on the same team in an FCS school? Funny stuff. Funny stuff. So they did pick up great. They're trying to help the linebacker room. They're trying to help the defensive line by getting Christian Pierce. So I'm excited. I always love to have another linebacker in that room. And like I said, he was decent in high school. He was highly recruited by a lot of different schools. Maybe we've got something there. At the very least, it's depth, and it helps, hopefully, Trey Pierce stay here. So those are the three guys they brought in. Let's talk about some of the news we got of guys that were not going to be coming back and signed elsewhere. So first, earlier in the day, we got news that TJ Metcalf, our dynamic safety / nickelback, signed with Tennessee. He won't be coming back. We kind of saw the writing on the wall when his brother Tavis Metcalf went into the transfer portal. Now it's interesting, he is not signed with Tennessee. It'll be interesting to me to see if he goes there, because they went to Arkansas together, then they came to Michigan together. I'm sure they hope they can go somewhere together, and you'd think that maybe would be a part of Metcalf's deal with Tennessee, but maybe Tavis wants to go somewhere on his own. Who knows? I guess we'll see what happens with that. It is interesting to me. So that was a bummer, but we had gotten Chris Bracey, so I felt good about replacing what TJ Metcalf brought to the table with Chris Bracey. And then, of course, even more with Smith Snowden. But another one we heard later on was Elijah Dotson, the freshman cornerback. Michigan was working to try to get him back, but he ended up signing with Missouri. So yeah, it was a bummer to lose Dotson and Metcalf, but Metcalf was kind of expected, and Dotson, I didn't think he was coming back until I read that they were trying to work on getting him back. So I kind of expected him to be gone anyway. Once we got Smith Snowden, there. So good luck to both of them. I wish them well. Michigan is in good shape there. So let's talk about some targets. So, of course, Salesi Moa is still being talked about. Again, Utah recruit. Kyle Whittingham recruited him, Jason Beck. He is a two-way player. He had some really solid stats at defensive back, some really solid stats at receiver. He's very quick, shifty. He's an athlete. So very exciting. That he went into the transfer portal and has a do not contact, which means he knows where he wants to go. He doesn't want to talk to anybody else. So hopefully this week at some point we'll hear that he's coming to Michigan. It'd be a big bummer if he ends up going somewhere else. And his uncle is our defensive edge coach from Utah. So that's really good news. And hopefully that helps bring him here as well. Powell, our defensive edge coach. So hopefully he's coming, and hopefully his brother will come as well, a linebacker from Michigan State, Salesi Moa. Hopefully he'll come as well. Another body for the linebacker room with a lot of untapped potential and talent. Doesn't hurt, and it helps him come here. And who knows? Hopefully, maybe he'd play both ways. Maybe he'll return. Maybe he'll be like somebody like Jabril Peppers was, returning punts or kicks, playing a little bit on offense, playing defense. We'll see. I don't know. He looked really good at cornerback and really good at receiver. So I would love to see him get a chance at both. I know that originally when, teams looked at him, I think Michigan was kind of in the mix and was looking at him. They saw him as more of a cornerback. But Kyle Whittingham and his staff at Utah, they saw him as a receiver. So we'll see. I'm guessing they'll give him a chance at receiver, but maybe he'll play both. That would be fun to see. I don't know, but he's a dynamic no matter what he does, and we could use him either way. So that's exciting. A tidbit about, speaking of receiver and the offense, JJ Buchanan, if you looked at some of the signed, committed things, it said wide receiver, not tight end. So he is a playmaker. He's a great pass catcher. So he may play some snaps at tight end, but he's really going to be a dynamic receiver. And if you have him, French, and Marsh, they can play the slot, they can play outside, they can move around. Buchanan can line up at tight end. Then you got Hogan Hansen, Zach Marshall, just dynamic. And the way Beck does offenses, he uses as extra personnel, he switches it up. Oh man, it's going to be fun. And if you throw Salesi Moa in there, have him playing in the slot sometimes too, man. Or even throw him in at running back randomly for a play. I mean, there's just so much Beck's going to be able to do. I'm excited. So we'll see if Moa and his brother come. That would be awesome. I don't really know who else Michigan might be going after. I know there's a lot going on behind the scenes. I know that when I look at the players still in the transfer portal, there's still a lot. There's still a lot of linebackers who have played a lot, who have proven something. There's more going in. There's still defensive line guys. So who knows who they're looking at, who they're planning on. Let's hope the Moa brothers come here. That's a start. And then I got to just dive in and look and see who's out there. But I know that there's still quite a few players. I trust this coaching staff. And I do like the pieces that we already have, but it would just be nice to get at least one guy where you can be like, he's the one. I like a lot of the pieces in there, like Max Alford. So worst case, we see what happens with them, and hopefully they take a step. But hopefully we bring in a linebacker or two that can really just make us feel good about this room. And there's still time. We'll see. They just keep pulling in pieces that make position groups a strength, and I think they're going to do it with linebacker too. And if they don't, it's because they think that they're okay. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens, everybody. If more info comes out, if some targets are announced and I hear more about some targets, I'll make another video and we'll talk about it. If anything big happens, I'll make another video, we'll talk about it. But for now, that's all I got. Another great day of additions, another great day for this coaching staff as the team starts to take shape more and more. Still could use some linebackers and defensive line help. We'll see if we get it, and we'll see if the Moa brothers come tomorrow. So, we'll see if the Moa brothers come today. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Again, brand new channel here. I would love a subscribe. Leave me a like. Leave me a comment. I respond to everyone. It's been a blast getting to talk to you. Good things are coming. Go Blue.